The story of our institute begins with an adventurous young British woman who had a lifelong dream to study wild animals in Africa, Jane Goodall. With her pioneering study of chimpanzees in Tanzania, particularly her discovery that chimpanzees make and use tools, Jane challenged long-held scientific ideas about what separates human from non-human. She also opened a window into the lives of chimpanzees, showing us complex, dynamic social groups and individuals who clearly had minds, personalities, and emotions.
It was very humbling. It taught me that although we humans are unique, we're not as different as we used to think. And even though I'd always felt that animals were very close to us, this was even closer. And I realized vividly that what we thought was a sharp line dividing humans on one side from all the rest of the animal kingdom was a very blurred line. And it teaches you a new respect.
More than 40 years after Jane Goodall introduced the world to the chimpanzees of Gombe, research continues, led by a team of dedicated scientists and field researchers.
That's Goldie.
This is Goldie.
Yeah, with her little beard. It's exciting to know there's a new generation of researchers at Gombe, like Shadrach and Elizabeth, studying a whole new generation of chimpanzees. Steal from Mum.
But Jane Goodall's legacy extends far beyond her contributions to science, including a global non-profit organization, the Jane Goodall Institute. The Institute operates conservation and development projects in Africa, sanctuaries for orphan chimpanzees, and a global youth program called Roots and Shoots. The Institute was started in 1977 to support the ongoing research at Gombe, where human population pressures around the park were bringing about alarming changes.
So quickly, it seemed, the environment outside the national park had been utterly destroyed. The trees had gone. When I came in 1960, you could go in a boat from Kigoma right up to Burundi, and it was chimp habitat. You could climb up the hills of the Rift Escarpment and look eastward, chimp habitat as far as you could see. And that's gone. It's only within the park that the original forests remain. The question then was, when people are struggling to survive, how is it possible to protect the precious oasis of the Gombe forest with its very famous chimpanzees? And that's how TACARE came into being, a program to try and improve the lives of the local people in the villages surrounding the park and up and down the lakeshore.
With the help of the TACARE staff's expertise, communities around Gombe are creating an alternative, sustainable future. They manage tree nurseries and have now planted more than 1 million trees in the Gombe region. Using new sustainable agriculture techniques, they grow cash crops such as coffee and a special high-yield oil palm variety. Women start their own small businesses and develop networks through local savings and loan programs. And they're benefiting from special fuel-efficient stoves that cut wood consumption by 60%. More girls are going to high school and college through a TACARE scholarship fund, while women receive important family planning and reproductive health instruction from peer educators. Such progress is vitally important for the future of families. What began in 1994 as a small pilot project has become a regional program staffed almost entirely by Tanzanians and supported by the UN Development Program, USAID, and other major funders. The Jane Goodall Institute also provides a refuge for the smallest victims of the illegal commercial bushmeat trade, infant chimpanzees orphaned by poachers and confiscated from the black market by government authorities. These orphans cannot survive in the wild. The infants are usually malnourished, injured, or sick, Often they're so gaunt their ribs protrude and they've lost their hair. But under the compassionate professional care of our sanctuary keepers and veterinary staffers, they can heal. The orphans are brought to our sanctuaries in the Republic of Congo, Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa. With nutritious diets, they sleep in spacious enclosures and have large areas of secured forest and grasslands to roam by day. As they explore the natural habitat together, they develop the social skills necessary for their well-being. Even as we operate our sanctuaries, we're working to end the violent, illegal trade that makes them necessary. We conduct awareness campaigns about the problems of eating primates, including disease transmission, and the importance of conservation and biodiversity. We're also researching new approaches to reintroduce the sanctuary chimpanzees back into the wild. Roots and Shoots is the Institute's effort to nurture a generation of compassionate, involved future citizens. In founding the program with 16 Tanzanian students in 1990, Jane Goodall recognized the inherent desire of young people to bring about positive change.
Well, the program that I'm really my heart is really in is a program for young people called Roots and Shoots. Roots creep under the ground, make a firm foundation. Shoots seem small, but to reach the light, they can break open a brick wall. And the brick wall is all the problems we humans have created, from cutting down the forest, spread of the desert, overpopulation, pollution, and then human greed and cruelty and crime and war. And the message is hope. Hundreds and thousands of young people around the world can break through.
The genius of the program is its versatility. Schools, community centers, 4-H groups, scout troops, even homeschooling families are all wonderful settings for Roots and Shoots. Knowledge leads to compassion, which inspires action. Roots and Shoots engages young people through service learning. They identify problems in their communities or beyond, and then develop creative solutions. Young people, says Jane, when informed and empowered, when they realize that what they do truly does make a difference, can indeed change the world. They are changing it already. Roots and Shoots has grown to include more than 6,000 groups in 87 countries. Perhaps Jane Goodall's greatest legacy is her example. With her hopeful vision, she inspires us to do what we can to preserve our natural heritage, create more compassionate communities, and support our young people in their desire to create a better world. Every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play, and every individual makes a difference.